Hey, Jose. I am going to try to figure out your uh, question and give you an answer here. Let's see if I can. First, I'm going to jump back into my email and read your question. You've looked at the video in today's lecture and edited some of your work and still can't move the probability of success. Looked at Ashley's example. She doesn't have a property in the network. I'm not sure what you mean by a property in the network. Would you be able to help me out? I've explained the only way I can move the needle is to change my age to 91. Okay, so I'm going to just see what you're talking about here. I'm going to go to your goals and see what you mean retirement. So you're going to retire at 69. Let me just jump into your retirement analysis screen. I'm going to click on action items. Looks like you're still using your current allocation, so you didn't change that apparently. I'm not sure. Maybe you did and it's not changing. Let's see if I move it to moderate, what happens. Nothing happens. Let's move it just to aggressive just for a minute just to see. And then I'm going to look at a few other things. So you're saving $400 a year. That's not going to move the needle, obviously. Your retirement expenses 44, 37 in pre-retirement. Let's see. I'm going to go look at your goals. So retirement age, monthly expenses, that's good. You did a good job of breaking those out. And your retirement, 56, annual retirement health care costs, okay, good. Income, you're making 108 grand. Let's see what your savings looks like. Your contribution is 6%, already started, okay, good. And expenses, we've already looked at those. Now I'm going to jump over to your accounts, investments. So you've got the big blue bucket, brown bucket, small gold bucket, good enough. 401k, let's see what we got here. You've got moderate, that should work. Okay, so I'm just reviewing your plan real quick to see what I see. Looks like everything's set for moderate. I'm going to assume that's true. So let's jump back over here into your probability of success. Now, I'm not sure what I just did, but we have pretty good probability of success there now. Okay, I'm going to move this back to the current allocation. Hit refresh, see what happens. Okay, so we have 85% probability of success. I'm not exactly sure what I did to change that. So let's just take a look at the cash flows here real quick. I'm just curious. So your total inflows, that's your income, your expenses, and if I want to see deeper in expenses, I can see living expenses and housing and debt. Okay. Very good. Back to cash flows. I'm just trying to figure out your plan looks, the way that it is right now looks pretty decent. So I'm just going to say I think whatever your issue was, I think it's kind of solved. I'm not sure if you have a more specific question, let me know. But I think we're good to go. You've got $4.5 million at the end of the plan. That's not terrible. I think you're probably going to figure out that on $108,000 income, you're going to spend a lot more than $3,700 a month. A year, so or a month rather. So let me just change that to $6,000, which I think is probably still a little low. I think you'll figure that out once you start making that kind of money and living in that kind of income. So if you did spend $6,000 a month, which would be 70 grand a year, you would fall short. But let's say you spent $6,000 a month in pre-retirement living expenses, but you were able to save, $2,500 in a taxable account, which isn't a big stretch. let's see, so that doesn't move the needle over here. So now let's look at the cash flows and see what's going on. Expenses, your expenses are obviously what's dragging down your plan. So, that's maybe not the right amount of pre-retirement expenses, but I would suspect that, so you're moderate right now. Let's go to growth and see if that offsets. So we just changed your asset allocation to growth. It did not move the needle. Again, I've got you at 6,000. Let's go to 5,000 and see what happens. 5,000 a month in expenses. You get closer, 9%. So you had, I think, 37. Let's do 4,500 and see what that does. Click refresh. I'm just, like I said, doing some playing around. So, that's what is causing your plan to either succeed or fail, is the amount of income offset by the amount of expenses. So do a little playing around. I hope that helps, but I think that should answer your question.